So we were going to see exceptional breakpoints. So in exception breakpoint, like I will run this code. We see that we are getting an exception. We see in conditional breakpoint, like when I told about conditional breakpoint, we saw that okay, how we can put a breakpoint on this line, put a condition that okay, is it an instance of this, to see that find that okay, which is the exact object that is giving us this exception. But there is another way uh, that we can, in that we don't even need to put the line breakpoint. So for this I will first run this. You see we are getting class cast exception. Now we put an exceptional breakpoint. In that also I will give you two ways. I will go to run view breakpoints. We click on add, then we click on Java exceptional breakpoints. Here we find class cast exception. We click this, we do done, and now when we do this run with debug mode, so here we directly got that object. Okay, that third one is the one that is here we got, like we got the exception as well, that what is the exception, and we got that okay, which is the index that is giving us this exception, that is the third one. Okay, so this is one way. Another way is, let's say there are, this is the sign for an exception breakpoint. We can remove this as well, we can just add this, or we can go see that that is gone now. Okay, another way how like if I run this again, you see we are getting this exception. Another way will be, we go to run, we go to view breakpoints, and we will already have this any exception checkbox here. We click this, we do done, and then we run in debug mode. So this will also give us the same output as of now, because like this is more like in a global, that was more in like we have written that explicitly that this is the exception that I'm expecting. Here it is more kind of a global. So when that happens, we get this index. Okay, moving forward, I have removed that breakpoint. Exceptional breakpoints, we are done. Got it. Now we are in on method breakpoints. Okay, so method breakpoints, in which like we put like there are ways to put line breakpoints, but maybe like when the code is allowed, we have multiple methods in different class that we are calling, then it is not very good practice, like not very easy also to go in each method and put line breakpoints. So one way is to put method breakpoints. Now there are two ways to put that. One is like, let's say like in util file we have this get person data. I go through it, I can put here a method breakpoint by clicking. You see we got a diamond red symbol here. That is the symbol of method breakpoint. If I right click this, you can see that when it will pause our code, it will pause in method entry and method exit. I will do done. I will come here and I will run this in debug mode. You see like I have put breakpoint at only one place. Okay, I will run in debug mode. So you see in the first line of the function, the code has paused. I will click resume. On the last line, the of code execution, the execution has paused. We see all the values here, and if I click resume again, it's all gone, and now in console we can see the output. Okay, so this is one way to put method breakpoints. There is another way to put method breakpoints, and that is far more advanced than this. For this I will copy this path. I will tell you in a minute why I'm copying this. So let's say I want to put a method breakpoint for this function without putting this hard-coded line breakpoint or method breakpoint. So for that, what we can do is we can go on and run view breakpoints. We can click on this add button, Java method breakpoints, and here let's say which is the we we first give the class pattern. Let's say I give the exec this data.util, and then we have data util. Okay, this is the exec, and now I can give exact method name when that is getting called, or I can give a wildcard. Let's say I give get star. Okay, I can put this. There is my method breakpoint. I can do done. You see, in actual code I have not actually went and given any breakpoint. I will do a debug with run with debug, and you see my code has paused here on the first line of this function because it was get star, so get person data is been called. So this is another way to do method breakpoint. Method breakpoints are very handy when we have codes, when we have two when from a single class we are calling multiple util class to do with parameters. So to check that, we can mm, get help from method breakpoints. So moving forward, method break 10th, we have 11th. Okay, now we are here, we have action breakpoints. Okay, so for 11th I need to first comment this. Okay, I will run this code just to show that it is working correctly. We are getting this. Okay, now action breakpoints are you can read once here that what why we want it. Like action breakpoints is something that when we don't want to pause the code but we want to print some attribute of our objects, that okay, we want to print some attribute or we want to evaluate some expression and then print the result. Usually what we will do, like let's say like we want this we are getting this person and we want to print maybe name of every person, or we want to evaluate that okay, I want the name of every person which whose age is more than 30. So we will write that code here itself in this and then we will run this, but we can do that without writing any code in actual code using action breakpoint. Now I will show you how to do that. So how we do action breakpoint is we click shift. We click shift from our keyboard and we click here. So you see we have got a yellow button here. This is the symbol of action breakpoint. I can right click, go to more options. Okay, now if we see here, we have a checkbox called evaluate and log. Okay, um, I have written here as well like how to do this, but I will just demonstrate that how this evaluate and log will work. Here you see that we have put a line breakpoint with this on line 46. I click evaluate and log, and let's say here I am writing an expression. So let's say I want this dot. Okay, in this line what we have person list. Okay, so I have person list dot, let's say I want name of every I want to print name of every person in that list. Okay, get name. So this is my evaluate and log. Okay, for better readability I will deselect this break hit point message. Okay, um, and I will do done. And now I will run this in debug mode. Okay, so this is our method breakpoint from last sample. I will just remove that. I will go to break. So I will deselect this method breakpoint. I will actually delete this because I don't need this anymore. So delete this. We'll do done. Come here and I will run in this debug mode again. And you see, we have got name of all the persons here, right? Without writing any actual code here. So this is the magic of action breakpoints. It's it's even more useful like when we want to evaluate something. Let's say I want to evaluate something, I will right click, go to more. If I say that okay, I want to get all dot get age greater than 30. Okay, this is an expression. Okay, I will do done and then I will do run with debug. So you see, for each object we get that okay, which when that expression is getting true or false. Obviously, like here, this information doesn't seems useful, but you can write even more better Java expression there to print that okay, print those person whose age is greater than 30 or less than 30. So this is how action breakpoint can be used. It can be very handy, and I will tell I was telling you like why I told you to put deselect this. Like say I select this and do done, you will see that whenever that line is getting hit, that time we are getting this log. Okay, so to not have this like what this line tell is that okay, this is this action breakpoint was hit, this action breakpoint is, the code is not paused but we are logging it that okay, this line, that breakpoint was hit. So to not have these, that's why I have deselected that. Cool. Moving forward, I will deselect this. Action breakpoints, we are done. This was 11th, I will go to 12th. Okay, now this is also quite useful. This is force return and force throw exception. Okay, so here we have a code. I will show you it's running. You see we are getting the output. Now if we want to test this function, okay, we want that this function to return some hard-coded value, the value that I want it to return. Without making any code change, we can do that. How we can do that? We will go to this add function, and in this here, let's say I put a breakpoint. Okay, I come here now. Actually it will return the actual value after evaluating and calculating here the sum here, but I want it to return my forced value, the value that I want, that I can do. See how I come here, go run in debug mode. So the breakpoints come here. In this debug section, I go to frames. In frames, I see this add. I right click here. It says force return. I click on this and let's say I return the value 10,000. Okay, I do OK. And now we are back from that. The control from that function is back here. I will go in next line using step over. Here you can see the result one is 10,000, right? I will go to next line. You see that 10,000 will persist in complete code. So I have forced my add function to return this value. So without doing any actual code, I have returned a forced value to my function. Same way I can throw an exception as well. I can call this I can make this method to throw an exception. See how I will do a run in debug. I come here, I come to frame, right click, click on throw exception, and here I will write which exception I want to throw. So let's say null point exception or new, maybe runtime exception, not runtime runtime exception. So you see I want this exception throw. I click OK, and now I click resume program. It is done. I go to console. You see we have got a runtime exception at line number 40, line number 6, and then in line number 44. So I have made this function to return my own runtime exception, or maybe null point exception, whatever custom exception, even custom exception we can return. So this is the power of force return. I will remove this line breakpoint, that if we want, we can return a hard-coded value. We can even return a hard-coded object, or we can return an exception. Cool. Moving forward, I will remove this. Okay, this is class level watcher. Now this is something that is actually very similar to watcher itself. I will show you like what first I will show you like what watcher was. I will click in debug mode. If I want to put this in watcher, I can just click on this first name, go click here, add to watches, and then I can do that first person dot. Okay, first person we have only one object. That doesn't make sense actually. I think person list will be more will be a better example. So I click here, add to watchers, person list dot get I dot get age greater than 30. Okay, so this was when I click this, this was okay. We come to console actually. Okay, I will rerun this again. Okay, this was that was in a different class, but yeah, you find that this watcher can be used in a for loop. Okay, I got actually we had used in a different code. That example was in a different code. Yeah, that was here when we have put the watcher. Now that watcher was for a for loop. Okay, I will demonstrate. Let me demonstrate that. That will be much better. Like if I put a breakpoint here, run in is debug mode, in person list, click go to watchers dot get I dot get age greater than 30. So we are getting true. And now if I click resume code, you see for every value we are getting this. Okay, so this is for each object we are seeing. Okay, now this is now I will demonstrate. I was demonstrating you actually class level watcher. So how we can put class level watcher is I will run this in debug mode. Sorry, I've run this actually. I will run this in debug mode. The program execution paused here. I go to list, and now if I have to do class level watcher, I can do new class level watch. Here I can give this dot. Okay, class level watcher I can't put actually in this. I need to, okay, sorry, person list, person map. Okay, wait a minute, I will run this again. Run in debug mode, go to person list. I have actually put this watchers from before, so that's why it was coming like this. Okay, now if I go to person 1, you see like this watcher I have put from before. I will remove all this actually. Okay, and I will demonstrate. I will rerun this again. I will rerun this again. We come to person list. I go to this. Now this is a class. If I need to put a class level watcher, I can click this, go to new class level watcher, and there I can give this dot get age greater than 30. So you see we get true here. Now in every object, all this, as this is a class level object, in every object we will see the value of that expression. So this is a class level watcher I wanted to demonstrate earlier. Like when I opened, you were able to see this because this was from when I was doing, actually I had written that. So I to remove this, so it is a good example that once you are done, you should remove this watcher. Like I have removed this watcher, so the same way you can remove, you see that from all the objects that watcher has been removed. Okay, so this is class level watcher. I will remove this. This was 12th. Okay, so this was this we have done. Okay, now we are at this last concept, that is use drop frames. Now drop frames is something like, let's say you have multiple breakpoints and you have surpassed some amount of breakpoints and now you want to go back. So how you will go back? So in that way you can use frames. So here we have a factorial code. I have taken a recursive example for this. I will put a breakpoint here. I will come here and now I will run this in debug mode. So you see we are here when the value, nth value is 5. I will resume n value is 4, n value is 3, n value is 2. Now if I want to go back, that okay, I want to go back from here, how I have come forward, how to undo this, how to go when n was maybe 2 or 3. So that we can do from here. Let's say I can come here, I can do, and I can do drop frame. So here n value become 5 again, and now here from here I can resume again. It can go till 2 1, and now the code is executed. We have our output. So you see we can use that drop frame feature from there um, to drop the frames and go backward. It's basically a rewind feature, how we can rewind it um, to our older steps of breakpoint. Okay, that's it from my end.